crossover media.
So now we're just gonna run through this whole track list and see how we ranked each song within the tier list respective to the project as a whole. We have no idea what we rated any of these songs, so this is gonna be our first time kind of reacting to our initial impressions of the song. So from the very top, first song, we have History.
This is God's plan, he said it to me. An angel either side of my bed in a dream.
Where did you place that?
B.
I placed it B as well. And the notes I put was, love it, but I don't get that jump out of my seat feeling. I think it was a good intro though. It was like, as a standalone song, it may not be as strong of a Dave song, but as an introduction, it's like, there's very little like I could critique. It just doesn't evoke an emotion out of me.
What I wrote was that there was unique and infectious production. Like it was definitely experimental, and I think that was dope. But listening to it as a standalone song, the direction it was going in was very unclear. That's why I said like at the beginning too, that I hope this is just setting the tone of what the themes will be throughout the project, which it turned out to be.
It did do that.
But like listening to the song itself, it was just like, what are you drawing at here?
Father God forgive me. It's been a couple years or maybe more that I ain't prayed. Even longer I ain't been to church, God I'm ashamed.
I put that one in C tier. So the notes I put was, I don't hate it, but I don't love it. It does what it needs to do. And it has that Yeezus, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy-esque kind of like grit.
Yeah, that one I actually placed in a B as well. Similar case to the first track, where it's like, it didn't give me anything to really remember. And that's not me saying it's a bad song, making sure I premise with that. It's just, there was nothing about it that stood out to me enough to make me feel like I want to hear this again and again and again and again and again. But in the context of the project, like I said, it worked because it's still laying that foundation that the first track started to set.
Next up, we have
Weapons. No weapon that's been fashioned against me shall prosper. My niggas had to take a risk and prosper.
I think we know where that goes. Where did you put it? S tier. It's not even a question. It was the first reload. I have no complaints. Jim Legacy spun that something stupid.
Facts.
I have to listen to his project now. Like that's one of those, we definitely gotta check that out. But no notes, there's nothing to say. They complemented each other perfectly. It's one of those that we only heard these songs basically once, by the way. Like in terms of like after listening to the project, this is fresh off the reaction.
Word.
So having not gone back and listened to it, like I just remember feeling like I gotta listen to that again. So shout outs to Jim Legacy, shout outs to Dave for that collab, because that bodied.
Wag you on the 52nd floor just to take the piss. And somehow we've had to deal with higher stakes than this.
I don't think we need anything to say there. Yeah, that you are now tuned into the Disney Channel. Ain't nothing to say about that.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing to say. That collaboration was generational. No pun intended, because it was a generational collab, but that's one of those you don't get often, and we're not gonna get for a while until there's a Dave of 2 generations from now. Like we're not getting that for a minute.
Because for me, I was like, listening to it, I will say it's not going to be something I would jump to as an individual again, but it is one of the best things I've heard in hip hop ever. Period. Not UK, not just, no, hip hop, period. I've never heard anything like that before.
Let's get the party started. See you at the bar, you was hardly talking. That's when I knew that your heart was scarring.
I gave that one an A. What took it a step down for me was that there was nothing uniquely memorable about it. Because even as we listened to it, that was one of the comments I made, is that this sounds like Dave to me.
Yeah.
Like, and when he goes for more of that Afro beat vibe. But it was still an absolute banger. Like,
Yeah.
you hear that in the club, you're gonna like it. You hear it in the car, you're gonna like it. You listen to this project, you're gonna look forward to it.
Yeah, I put that one in B tier. For me, it wasn't extremely memorable. I think as an artist, if we're talking about being put in boxes and everything, he needed to throw something in there that's kind of keep people at ease. Because if we were getting a whole bunch of chapter 16s, that would have been really intense. But if we were getting a whole lot of no weapons, like, we needed a Raindance in this to kind of, as you said, keep it grounded, keep it very Dave. Remind people that he still knows how to make those kinds of songs. He still has that in the tank. But other than that, I think it was a great collaboration. I look forward to hearing what Dave and Thames can make again. That's an example of a collab that I think we can probably get a couple more of. Like, there's certain collabs, like Dave and Fredo, I'm just like, at this point, I don't know what they could do anymore at this point.
Yeah.
That's one of those, I'm just like, I think I could hear 2 or 3 more of those, and it could still sound. I can hear Dave on like Amapiano with Thames, or even like bringing back Afroswing and then bringing Thames into that world. So I think there's a lot more potential. That demonstrates the potential for how much synergy they have.
What if I'm selfish? What if I'm the reason behind it? What if I'm overprotected with family because of how mine is? What
I
if I'm
put
jealous?
that in B tier as well. So I put, I have a hard time rating because I wouldn't listen to it casually, but I understand why it's so important.
Yeah, that's clear. That's fair. That's fair. I actually gave it an A. Looking at it now, it might have been a little generous. Because for me, I feel like the vulnerability was peak.
Yeah.
It was peak, bro. Like, that's like what we typically ask for when we always say, like, can you just dig a little bit deeper? Like, that was the level of deep that we wanted. And there was clear direction from start to finish. Like, he didn't really deviate too much in the tones and themes, and that's what I loved about it, too. It really felt like he wrote this start to finish knowing exactly what he wanted to say before he even started writing. And the thing that took away from it for me, it's not the most replayable. Listening to it is going to bring me to a place that I don't necessarily want to be at all the time.
I agree.
Yeah.
White fish on the coast of the Caribbean. My life is a film. Hero and villain. I'm playing both in the script worthy of Spielberg or Christopher Nolan. Reading the constant overachieving. I know.
I don't think anything that you said about that one, S tier. S tier. Easily. I do still feel like I stand in this weird place where it's the best in this series, but I still think 24 is my favorite. And having to wrestle with both of those things being true at the same time. And I know the internet is where nuance goes to die, so some people may not understand that, but I think that it is the best because of the natural progression and growth as an artist. I think 24 just has a little bit more musicality to it that makes it enjoyable as a song that can play passively, but the themes and the elements that he introduced with that, like the staying true to what that now trilogy stands for, there's no notes. There's no notes. That is like peak Dave. You can play, honestly, all 3 of those songs, 19th, 24th, and 27th, and you can have a strong understanding of who Dave is. I could give somebody a playlist of just those 3 and I say, this is Dave. And I can feel comfortable with that.
I echo all those sentiments, so there's no reason for me to waste time on the camera.
He feel marvelous. He robbed the man and he feel marvelous. Just only 17, he got that dog in him.
Where did you put Marvellous? I put Marvellous in S.
I give it an A.
You gave it an A?
Yeah.
All right, here's what I'll say. It didn't have like the same quote unquote substance of the ones that we put in S. But I think the reason why I put it in S is because within the lane of the kind of song that it is on this project, it's the best in that lane. Measured to the other S's, I could see that maybe even being A+ and not maybe a full S. But the amount of times I reloaded it, I almost feel like I kind of have to give it an S, but what are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so what made it great was how simple and effective it was. What took away from it was how simple and effective it was.
Yeah,
So,
compared to what we got, it wasn't as layered as some of the other
even down
things.
to the lyrics, like there were practically 0 punchlines the entire track, which there's nothing wrong with. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Cameron built most of his rap career like that. At the end of the day, I got so used to Dave sprinkling a little sazon at least somewhere that I didn't feel like he did that at all in that track, and that's the one thing that made me like, all right.
I think just off of my initial like how I feel about it, I throw it in S, but if I had to be critical and like analyze it and give it genuine critique, I could probably see myself nudging it more towards A+, like the top of the A tier. But I think that's fair.
She was 24. Last week told me something you can't be ready for.
I put Fairchild in C, but it's one of those I don't even feel right giving it a score or giving it a rating. It's one of those how could you? That's kind of how I feel as a grown, mature, self-aware man. Is just like, I'm not saying the song is bad, but if I had to say, would I listen to this casually? Do I enjoy listening to it? No. Do I understand it? Do I think it's necessary? Yes. I think if I had to give it like a critique, as you said before, it's just the most out of place on the project. I don't think it's too heavy.
Yeah. Songs like that in general are always like that for me.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like every time we've done an album reaction where we ran into one of those songs, I was just like, oh, here goes another one of those moments, right? And it's not like saying it in jest. It's really just like, I don't look forward to those, you know, because of the fact that they are real and they're sending a message that needs to be sent.
Yeah.
But as a listener, it's just like
Yeah.
it just makes me. It just makes you want to throw up
Yeah,
inside.
it's uncomfortable.
you
It's
know,
uncomfortable.
It's tough.
It's uncomfortable, yeah. Last but not least, the boy who played the harp, the title track.
Yeah, I sometimes wonder, what would I do in the next generation? In 1940, if I was enlisted to fight for the nation?
Yeah.
I put that in A.
Yeah, same.
Put that in A tier. I put, the only note that I have is that it didn't need more with the beat, but I would have appreciated it. Like as you said, how it has that drilly sound. Like I would like to hear somebody reproduce it, but by only adding things. Somebody like Nux could probably reproduce that and do it justice. Other than that, it's like there's nothing to say. It's the pinnacle of the album. Pinnacle in the sense of you reach that point and you feel completely satisfied.
Yeah, I slapped an A on that one too. You don't typically get a quality outro like that. So I accept it for what it is. And I think that's really just all it was missing, just some energy. Give me something to bop my head to, since we didn't have a lot of that for the second half of the project altogether.
And overall, I would say what I appreciate about this project is that for one of the first times ever, I don't feel like I'm critiquing a project in its totality, meaning what does this project mean? What does this project stand for? Like, what does it represent within the artist catalog? I think it's very clear exactly what this project is. This is Dave's 444 moment. This is his Mr. Morale moment. This is his This Is What I Mean moment. This is his 808s and Heartbreaks mixed with Yeezus, mixed with My Beautiful Dark Fantasy moment. This is that moment where it's like, I don't care about what you have to say. This is for me. And everything is very clear from beginning to end. I had no reason to rearrange the tracks. Normally I would listen to a song and say, I feel like this could be here. I didn't have that notes for any other songs.
It's intentional.
There's really nothing to say, for real.
Yeah, it's
for real.
very intentional.
As an overall project, I feel like I'll give it an A-. As an overall project. Only because like I reserve like S tier and A for albums for things that are just nothing but bangers and just straight like unskippable. I give it like an A- for if I had to give it like a numerical score. As a project, removing how I feel about the songs, like as a project, I feel like it's a 9 because it does stay very true to the imagery that we see in the cover art. It stays true to the themes that we get with the couple minor hiccups. Like as a project, it's up there. As a collection of songs, it probably inches more towards like an 8 if I'm rating the songs and averaging the songs. But as a project, in terms of what it means, what it represents, the story and the context of it that it generates and what it means to Dave and his career, I think is undeniable. So if you haven't already, I'm probably dropping this before I release the fully edited reaction. So make sure you look out for the fully edited reaction and then check that out if this is something that you're watching however many days or months in advance. Also make sure you check out our reaction to We're All Alone in This Together and the feedback that I gave to We're All Alone in This Together and how I would have improved it. Other than that, let me know what you think about this album in the comment section down below, and how would you rank Dave's albums, and what are your favorite songs from each album?